Robert Burns, at the annual Burns dinners that celebrate his 25th of January birthday. But why has this tradition grown from 9 men, friends of his, who gathered in Alloway, Scotland in 1801, 5 years after his death, hello over there, 5 years after his death, to honor the man and his work, to Burns suppers held all over the world. Lest it be thought it's only due to Scots who live in these countries, these events are not only celebrated in places like Great Britain, Canada, the US, South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia, where you might expect them, but all over Europe, including Russia, numerous African countries, including Tanzania, and Asian countries that stretch from India to China. In fact, Burns is very popular in Russia and in China, which are not exactly countries where they had a large number of Scottish immigrants. Burns has been celebrated in Czarist, in communist, and in present-day Russia. Not only that, but My Heart is in the Highlands was the marching song of the Chinese when they fought the Japanese in World War II. And you can buy tickets for the Burns Night in Beijing online, if anybody so wishes. I am very curious as to how Address to the Haggis sounds in Mandarin, in Scots tongue and in English tongue.
What are the scalper prices?
Maybe we can do that next year.
Put her in
So let's consider what makes a not well-known poet and songwriter from a tiny country who wrote in an obscure dialect enduring and widespread in popularity today. Perhaps it's because the love in Burns' poetry and songs have a universal appeal. Romantic love, love of liberty, love of country, love of the common people, and love of friends. These loves speak to the hearts of people all over the world and through all time. Burns was a passionate man. Too often his passion for women becomes the topic of Immortal Memory. He did write a number of beautiful poems like I Love My Jean, Afton Water, Highland Mary, A Fond Kiss, to many of his paramours. Burns had a way of expressing romantic love that was real, that showed strong emotion rather than being light and ethereal. Nobel Prize winner Bob Dylan said that the following poem was the verse that had the most impact of his life as a songwriter. Oh, my love is like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love is like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. I mean, come on, what's more romantic than a red rose? According to Women's Day, red roses symbolize love, romance, beauty, and perfection. And Powers Court Garden Pavilion called it surely the most romantic of flowers. Need I add more? But while romantic passion is well represented in his poems, Burns also had a passionate love of liberty. What he wrote in Scots Wha Hae rings the bell of liberty not only for his native Scotland, but for all mankind. What for Scotland's king and law, freedom's sword will strongly draw. Freemen stand or freemen fall, let him on with me. By oppression's woes and pains, by your sons in servile chains, we will drain our dearest veins, but they shall be free. Lay the proud usurpers low, tyrants fall in every foe, liberties in every blow, let us do our deed. Although they are the supposed words of Robert the Bruce as he inspired the Scots before the Battle of Bannockburn, you don't have to be Scottish to appreciate the message. Let me live free or die trying. Robert Burns was a Freemason. While you may think of them as old guys who run around in weird aprons with secret handshakes, the principles of Freemasonry were radical, even revolutionary in the 18th century. In the Masonic Lodge, all were equal, brothers even. They were men like Voltaire, who lived in Royalist France, yet promoted John Locke's social contract that said men are naturally born with the rights of life, health, liberty, and possessions. Men like Paul Revere and Dr. John Warren, who were Boston rebels when the Revolutionary War began. Men like George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and James Monroe, some of America's founding fathers. Men like Robert Burns, who wrote in an ode for General Washington's birthday, a brother, fellow Freemason. A broken chain exalting bring, and dash it in the tyrant's face, and dare him to his very beard, and tell him he no more is feared, no more the despot of Columbia's race. Note the similar theme to Scott's Wahey. Columbia's race were the newly independent Americans, and the despot was Great Britain, personified in King George III. He wrote this in 1794, when King George III still reigned in Great Britain, where Burns lived. Very guessing. Another passion of Burns was his fellow man, the man not born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Burns became known as the plowman poet, the farmer with a pen, as it were. Now understand that this was an era when artists depended upon patrons or wealthy backers to survive. Why do you think famous painters like Thomas Gainsborough, Alan Ramsey, and Joshua Reynolds did so many portraits? They were sure sales. Since there were no copyright laws to protect an artist's work, composers and poets often needed support from patrons to survive, and would either write about them or dedicate their collections to them. Joseph Haydn had friends Paul, Anton, Esterhazy. And although Wolfgang Mozart did freelance composition, he also did receive considerable support from Baron Gottfried von Swinden. Poet Alexander Pope had Lord Burlington. These patrons were nobles that artists did not want to offend. Yet consider what Burns wrote in A Man's a Man for All That. A prince can mak a belted knight, a marquis duke and all that, but an honest man's a boon his might, good faith he wanna follow that. For all that and all that, their dignities and all that, the pathos, sense, and pride of worth are higher ranked than all that, which in modern English might be. A prince can make a belted knight, a marquis, duke, and such. But an honest man is above his power to create. Good faith, he must not criticize that. For all that and all that, the dignities and all that, common sense and pride of self-worth are higher ranked than they. In other words, an honest man ranks higher than any noble, be it a prince, a belted knight, a marquis, or a duke. Interestingly, he implies that those nobles couldn't be honest men. Not the way to win patrons and influence nobles. Now, the Earl of Glencairn was a patron of Burns and helped him publish his second edition of poems, but somehow he looked past Burns' obviously Republican writings. Burns' love of friends is best shown in the very familiar Auld Lang Syne. If you ever meet someone who doesn't know who Burns is, and I have many times, all you have to say is, he wrote that New Year's Eve song, and they'll know you. Yet Burns wrote it about friendship, not about when the ball drops in Times Square. But Guy Lombardo and his Royal Canadians were playing at the Roosevelt Hotel in New York as the clock struck midnight in 1929, and the rest is history. And when Mary met Sally, Billy Crystal says about Old Lang Syne, "What does the song mean? My whole life, I don't know what the song means." Which is true about a lot of people. I was going to translate it in modern English, but we're out of time, so. Just kidding.
Get it next year.
Here's Old Lang Syne in modern English. Should old acquaintance be forgotten and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgotten and old times past? For old times past, my dear, for old times past. We'll take a cup of kindness here for old times past. And surely you'll buy your pine cup, and surely I'll buy mine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for old times past. And here's my hand, my trusted friend, and give us a hand of yours. We'll take a deep goodwill drink for old times past.
Here, here.
Actually, I prefer it in Scottsdale. But in lands far, far away, there will be bird celebrations where people will sing Yo Ye Di Jo Ching Ta in Mandarin, or Dobroye Sorore Vremya in Russian. And that's fine by me. They appreciate Robert Burns as much as we do. So let us be upstanding for a toast to Robert Burns, Scotland's gift to the world.